Hey guys, it's Trish. How are you doing tonight? I am looking on my phone. I'm making sure that I'm live in the group so that y'all don't have to look at my head for very long. Tonight we are here with a new company that it's actually not brand new, but it's new to us. We didn't know about it. And I want to introduce you to this organization because I think any of us that have had gaming or children know that games are a big deal in our world these days. So I am going to bring on Matt Wolf and let me bring him in. Hey, Matt.
Hi, Trish. How
How
are
are
you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're super excited to hear about TruPlay. I've been talking about it for days now, so I think everybody is excited to hear about it. So tell us about TruPlay.
Yeah, I'll let you have it. Trish, thanks for having me on, and hello to all the homeschool moms out there. We are also a homeschool family, so I'm technically in our dining room, but we do have our homeschool room that was a dining room over there converted. So I know every homeschool family feels that when they're carving out space in their home. So my name's Matt Wolf. I'm the senior product director over marketing, which is kind of a weird title. I basically came from the product side of the company and built out part of the product, and then I moved into the head of marketing role. So we kind of merged some titles, but essentially, TruPlay, we are a brand new company. We've been in existence for maybe 3 years total on Series A investor funding, and really, like, what are we? Why did we start? Is probably the biggest question we get. And why did I join? So I'll kind of try and answer some of those briefly, but essentially, a lot of us at TruePlay are parents. We are parents just like you, and we saw a gigantic problem with the world. We saw that, if you look at any decent really reported stats, 32% of our children don't go to church or don't believe in God. And as a Christian father, like, that's a staggering number for me. And also, we had no good options for our kids when it came to screen time. I think we all share the pain of, as soon as our kid pulls up an app, we're like, well, is this TikTok? Is it ByteDance? And who's harvesting my children's data? And is it safe? What ads are gonna come up? Is there violence? Is there an agenda in these games that I don't know about? And it's tiring as a parent, and we have no options. And so a lot of us parents would just say, no more screen time. But we set out to change that. We set out to provide an actual redemptive platform where you can feel safe, where your kids have screen time. And it's not just wasting time or a gap or like a filler of a gap of time. What it is it's faith-based screen time. It's basically has Christian values, Christian principles. It teaches your kids about fellowship, about prayer, about leaning into God. And so it's redemptive. It's not like you're just kind of filling the time. It's teaching your kids and grow. We have a tagline: grow your faith through play. And so we set out and hired some very, very top-notch talent people, some people from some of the biggest game companies out there, like EA, Leapfrog, when it was in its heyday. We
I
had some
know.
folks.
Leapfrog. That was one of my
Right,
favorites.
yeah. I remember Leapfrog. Who hasn't done Leapfrog? So
Right?
Epic Games. And so basically, we're a consortium of really, really qualified talent that decided to leave our careers. I came from Nike. So I was a senior brand analyst at Nike for a long time and was a senior director of data science and healthcare for a long time. And I've always worked in digital technology, and I saw this company and I was like, wait a minute, you want to build Christian video games for kids? I was like, I literally sent TruePlay a letter. I didn't even apply. I said, I have to work here. And so a month later, I was there. I
That's
left my corner office and my senior director title and went to work for TruePlay to build this thing. So it's been great. So we just launched. We've been out there for about a month. People are starting to find us. and we're slowly kind of rolling this out. So I'm here to answer any questions you have about screen time as a parent for your kids, or about TruPlay, the troubles that you run into, anything.
So some of the things that when I went out there and I started playing with it, I noticed that there's something called a rimverse. You need to explain
Mhm.
what rimverse is to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So our games on our platform, and maybe we can show, present that in the call, but
That would be great.
we really divided into two different categories. So some of our games are explicitly biblical games, and I did a whole podcast with another group about creative license, meaning like, okay, so we have to be careful when we take biblical doctrine and apply creative license to it. And there's some things that you can apply creative license to. There's some things you absolutely cannot.
Right.
And we're very strict about that. We actually have it written into our bylaws as a company that we believe the Bible is authoritative and inerrant. And so we don't add to it, we don't take away. So some of our games are explicitly biblical. One of them is Stained Glass. It's this really cool match 3 game. And basically you do the match 3 puzzles, you beat the level, and then you get to rebuild a shattered stained glass. And through rebuilding this, it starts to reveal this beautiful picture of a story from the Bible. And when you finish it, it then goes into this really cool audio of that story. So that one has hundreds of levels. I mean, you could play that and never stop, to be honest. Then we have other games that are based on our IP that we developed. And this is one of the biggest reasons I joined TruPlay. If you go to our website, you see these anthropomorphic characters, and it's beautiful art. I'm like, what is this? Like, who are these? And like, it just draws you in. Anytime I pull up my computer on an airplane and someone sees me working, they are like, what is that? It's just beautiful art. Well, that's our Rimverse. And so what this is basically it's the world of Rim. Think of kind of Chronicles of Narnia or an illustrative allegorical world where all these anthropomorphic characters, kind of like the Sandlot, live in this town called Ideopolis. And they're kind of oblivious to that there's evil in the world. And this fly is just bothering me.
Don't you love that?
I love it. So they start to realize that there's evil in the world, and they go into the Four Swords. That's really where it starts, where Maple meets Oliver, and they realize there's a villain named Azilla who has stolen the book of words and started to redefine words and steal their meaning in order to confuse the people of Ideopolis to start controlling them. And so
Boy,
you can start to see, yeah, there's a
current
huge
culture.
narrative. Right. Yeah. So aren't we living that? And we kind of see that with our kids. And so each one of these characters has their own journey. And their journey really mimics what we see in the real world. Like one of our characters, Ava, she's bullied at school. And she comes from a divorced family. And she has a hard time believing the truth about herself, that she's created by God, that she's beautiful and has purpose. And so she plays through this game where the Snarflon are literally lobbing lies at her, and she has to learn how to defeat these lies and speak truth and read truth into her life. And so to find her true identity in God. And there's another character, Lucas. He very quickly became our consumer's favorite. He's a
Aw,
skunk in a robotic alligator costume. And I think Iron Man helped us with this, but he can fly. He shoots lasers from his eyeballs, but he's not sure about his faith, like where he's at. And so his brother died, and so he's going on this journey to find his brother. And his buddy Noah is like, your mom said he's with God," and he goes, "Yeah, I'm going there." So we created this game called Lucas and the Heavenly Quest. It's not out yet, but it's his journey of realizing that actually his brother is in heaven, and that he learns about what heaven is. And so these games are full of these stories, and it's a deep narrative. We hired 2 authors who have like doctrinal I'm spaced on the word, but they have their degrees, and basically they're writing the Rimverse, and there's 4 gigantic arcs. And what you see in our platform now is like it is barely the first part of Arc 1. So we know that this thing has tons of legs. Like we could go for years unraveling the Rimverse. Right now we're mobile casual on your device, but we have aspirations, we have dreams. So we have games in there, we have digital comics in there, and we are kicking off our animation. So you'll see some proof of concepts. Like when I say animation, I mean kind of like old
Movies?
school. Yes, but they're beautiful. Like
Oh, cool.
our platform, one of our core tenets is it has to be fun and it has to be beautiful. It has to be super high quality. We're competing against Apple. We're competing against these gigantic gaming platforms. Disney, I mean, coming out with like super high quality animation. So that's the standard. And we do get asked the question, like, why do you charge subscription? And it's like, well, I would love to just be provided for and just give my skills and give everything away for free. But at the end of the day, I have 4 daughters and a wife, and we have to, pay for things. And so we have to pay top talent to come out with this really high quality entertainment. So
I was
really what we're trying. Oh, go
and I
ahead,
know
Trish.
what that top talent costs. That top talent is not cheap, especially when
It's
you're
not cheap.
some of these
And
big organizations. So yeah.
we don't advertise this because it's not good for recruiting, but honestly, everyone who came to TruPlay took a pay cut. We
That's
did.
amazing.
Now we're all paid well. We're fine. Like
They believe in
we
the mission.
we do. That's why we came here. Because at the end of the day, Trish, it's not about TruPlay.
Right.
Yeah, I wear the T-shirt. I'd love for you to join our platform, but at the end of the day, if you really look out at the entertainment your kids are looking at, I mean, there's some safe stuff out there. I don't want to negate that, and I don't want to over dramatize it. But at the same time, like, is it really that great? It's kind of like friendly at best most times. And
Right.
I mean, really, we're part of this movement we see with like The Chosen, Jesus Revolution, Wing Feather, to name a few, where it's like, really, we need to start building really high quality Christian entertainment that we as families, it's not cheesy, but it's really, really good. So anyway, that's really the movement we're a part of. And like I said, we're parents just like you. Like we're trying to be a tool in your toolbox so that, when your kids want to enjoy screens, because screens are here to stay.
Right.
And I get it. Like there's been seasons where I'm like, nope. And we have screen time limits in our family. And I think probably if you're homeschooling, you got screen time limits, guarantee it. So
most of them do.
Yeah. But at the same time, technology, devices, I mean, they're part of our culture. They're part of our life, and they're not going away. And I think that, we can create a really cool environment for our kids that is safe. So, and I guess I should define safe. It's not just about the Christian values and what they learn. It's the platform safe. So one of the guys, our head of engineering, he if you've ever shopped on Amazon, and if you remember, they basically built out this algorithm in the background that merged all your products that you were going to purchase into a single shipment, because it wasn't like that previously. He developed that. He's a super intelligent guy, but he's in charge of our platform engineering team. So when I say top talent, we really did get top talent. And so it's safe by design. And also we don't allow in-app purchases other than the subscription itself. We don't allow chat rooms. There's no bad actors in there. No one can get in there. It's locked down. And there's no advertising. There's none. So most free resources you're going to get, it's called freemium. They're free, but they sell ad space.
Yeah.
You don't know what ad's going to pop up. We don't do that. So we basically say, here's the subscription. You get access to everything forever, as long as you pay it, and you're off to the races.
So some of the things that when you and I were originally talking that I was kind of fascinated with was you can play this offline. Can you explain that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So essentially all of our games, it's not an online game or a multimedia multiplayer game. So essentially you download the app on your phone, whether it's your iPhone, your Android, or your tablet. And so you download it there, and it'll do an initial download. And then as you open it up, it starts to download all the rest of the content in the background. And so once it's on there, you could play. You could turn on airplane mode and start playing. Now, there's one caveat. We have to stream our animation.
Right.
So you do have to be online to watch the animation, because otherwise Apple wouldn't allow us on the App Store because it would be too
Right.
big.
Right.
So it'd be like a terabyte app and your phone would just start smoking. Um, so you can play offline, and then when you can save your progress. What's cool is you can have multiple profiles, so it's essentially a family plan. So all your kids can
Oh
have
yeah.
their own profile, and there's leaderboards, and we're coming out in the achievements platform pretty soon. So like all the profiles, like on my phone, I think I have I only have 4 kids, but I have like 7 or 8 profiles in there. The friends play, but I have a profile. So you can save your progress, but so when you connect to Wi-Fi or whatever, it will sync with our cloud service and it will save your progress. So then you can, if you say, oh, I'm not going to use the phone, I'm going to pull up my tablet, it loads all that saved progress on your tablet. Or if you have an Android and your husband has an iPhone, and there's that battle between the iPhone and Android in your family that happens sometimes, you can literally be playing on the iPhone, put it down, and open up your Android, and all your stuff will be there as well. It
Which
uses
is
the
really
cloud and
cool.
saves across. So it's offline. You can play it on road trips, airplanes, wherever. We made it that way because we do know that a lot of times when you're on a road trip or on an
Yeah.
airplane, that's when the tablet comes out for your child. And so we didn't want to make it to where you have to be burning through your data to do that.
A lot of the moms here know that I own Homeschool Travel Adventures, and we take lots of trips. We're going to the Keys in October, and I love
Oh,
this
cool.
idea. I was so excited when you told me about that, about the ability to play offline when you're traveling, because so many of our families would love something like this. So I thought that was so creative and so important for me to mention. Something
Mhm.
else that I know that you and I talked about was the whole animals in costumes concept. So let's talk about
Yeah.
that. Let's just go ahead and go there.
Yeah, we get some questions on that sometimes. And so if you actually go to our homepage, we have a Q&A at the bottom, and literally we just, why do your characters wear costumes of other animals? And really what it comes down to is there's really a subtle alter ego, right? So, and I don't want to call it that, but like Maple, she's a bunny rabbit, but she's really bold, and she wants to be seen as fierce to her friends. So it's like, what's the fiercest animal in the jungle? Oh, a tiger. So like she's gonna throw on a tiger costume so she's seen a certain way. And it's really part of the deeper narrative of each character. As they go through each arc, they realize they really don't need this alter ego,
Oh,
that who God made you to be is exactly who you're supposed to be. And you can kind of shed this alter ego. Like a bunny can be fierce if you have faith, something like that. So, um, and also it does play on just children's love of dressing up.
right.
Like right now, my kids are into Lord of the Rings, and one of my kids is an artist, and she literally is making costumes,
Oh, how
making elvish
fun. This is
costumes to wear,
homeschooler.
and they're
This
they're
sounds just like a homeschooler. So
right.
spoken
Yeah,
dad, right?
yeah,
I
like
love
homeschoolers. They're creative, they're innovative, they can actually speak to adults and use coherent sentences without looking down at a screen. Yeah, homeschooler, those kids are usually the normal kids now.
it.
But
So,
she's yeah, so she's making costumes, and we know kids love to dress up, and so it's a playful way to have a spin on that. And so that's really the etymology of how that happened in our characters. And we wanted to use more of an anthropomorphic, which is animals displaying human traits. And so, I mean, we know that animals are loved and they show up on the screen great. So
I actually have a love of that. We created it's on Amazon, but we created a whole notebook series of anthropomorphic animals. Exactly the same thing. A little bit more preppy than childlike. But anyway, they're childlike, but you know what I mean. They're a little bit more preppy and a little bit
mhm.
more in style, I guess. Hip, so to say. But anyway, they are. I love anthropomorphic animals, so I think that's absolutely adorable. So I actually was attracted to that. Not. I didn't even have an issue. I didn't even think about it that way until you and I were talking about it. So let's talk about the content. So how
Mhm.
deep? So the Bible, we know that it's biblical. We know that there's a faith based. So how do you decide which version, which translation, which concepts that you talk about or show, and from what perspective? Because I think that's going to be a question moms want to know.
Yeah. So we're going to hit on really basic stuff like prayer, strength in prayer or having faith, overcoming the enemy with the truth, like the armor of God. Um, so I think sometimes people think that we're going to get into the finer, you know, are we Calvinists? Are we Arminians? Are we,
Right.
are you Reformed? And it's really not something that is going to come out in these games necessarily. So, we're going to stick to things.
Essentially
What's
a Bible
that?
story, thinking about it like a Bible story. A Bible story usually
Yeah,
doesn't have a perspective necessarily. They're kind of very high level and more generic than getting into the doctrine of a specific denomination.
exactly. Yeah. And so, like, we'll never pull our punch on who the person of Jesus Christ is. He
Right.
was the Son of God, died for your sins. Like, we'll never pull our punch there. And obviously, um, our explicitly Bible games, we don't change doctrine at all. It's literally from the Bible, and we use verses from the Bible. And so those ones, we don't take creative license to change anything really.
Right.
But when we look at the rim verse and how that plays out, think of how C.S. Lewis told the story of salvation and redemption and sacrifice through Aslan, through Narnia, and the Wicked Witch and deceit and all that stuff. That is exactly how we're telling the story through the rim verse. And so you're never going to see Maple get into a debate on whether Arminianism or Calvinism. Like, that's not gonna happen. Or like, are we Lutheran or are we this? We're
Right.
not going there.
No
There
pre-trib
is
or
so
post-trib and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
right, right, yeah. So and I think, all right, if you know who this is, William Booth, he was the founder of the Salvation Army. I read one of his books one time and it was phenomenal. I was actually really young when I read it. But he basically says, like, hey, there's so many great stories in the Bible for your kids. Why would you take them out of there? And so, that's what we're trying to do. And we're even with our Rem verse, we're not taking them really out of the Bible. We're illustrating the Bible through allegory. So um, I hope that answers your question. But we do have things in there like the power of prayer. Like, we're not gonna water down some of these core things as Christians that we believe, like having faith to move mountains, and what does that mean? So um yeah.
That's great. I think that's exactly what moms need to hear because, I mean, sometimes we get surprised and I don't want any surprises. So I'm asking the hard questions so that there are no surprises, right? So somebody mentioned that it seems young. So I know
Mhm.
this is just coming out. You're just starting this. Do you plan on having games for older children as well? Or will these grow into older kids? I mean, are these kids going to grow up? you know, how's this going to
Yeah.
work?
So I saw that question as well. So our platform right now, we generally say it's for children ages 5 to 12, um,
Okay.
and I think yeah, I won't say that. Well, I'll say it. I think that for homeschool kids, our kids still have their innocence pretty much intact at age 12, so they really do still enjoy games. Like my second oldest daughter is 15, and she plays the games. It's great. In fact,
Oh,
I play the games, and it's not just because I work there. There's some of them that are just like stained glass. Like that's actually kind of an adult game. It's a match 3. It's really fun. Now, where we go with it, I mean, we have 4 arcs of the Rimverse story. It doesn't mean we couldn't write 4 more and continue that journey. It really comes down to, Trish, to be honest, and I'll challenge everyone here, like, if you get behind companies like us, we will continue to produce more and more content.
that's
So
right. It's up to us to
we
support it.
base
If we're not supporting it,
exactly.
we don't have the money to do it.
Yeah, and so like I said, I mean, none of us here are like buying Mercedes Benzes and getting rich off this stuff. Like we all took pay cuts and left our careers to do this. But it is a for-profit company. It's a benefit corp. So literally in our bylaws, benefit corp, it says our mission is to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to children. So you all can hold us accountable for that.
Yeah,
But essentially, the more money we get through subscriptions, the more we pour into. And sitting with these game developers, these designers, and the people who came to TruPlay, listening to them talk about where they want to take this can be really amazing. I mean, we're talking about doing an entire animation series. I mean,
right.
it's really like the gloves are off. Whatever we want to do, it just comes down to how many people jump on board the movement. We look at Angel Studios, great example.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're successful because people jumped on board. Like you got Sound of Freedom because you funded it.
That's right.
That's why you got that. It's the same with us. If you fund it, you will get it and you will get more of it. My dream is to retire here. I don't ever want to leave.
Oh,
And I would
appreciate
love to see
that
a
what you
AAA
said.
game.
We do have another question that says, "Will it run on Amazon Fire tablets?"
Oh, man.
Is
Not
that
right
a
now.
bad question? We have to
No,
ask
it's a
it.
great question. And I just got on our product team. I'm like, guys, Amazon Fire is like the homeschool tablet. Like it's the
Right.
one that we all afford. Because one thing about homeschoolers, it's like we're not poor, but we scrutinize every purchase. We're
That's
generally a
right.
single income family. So we're not buying our kids like 12 iPads to go play
That's right.
games. So um, I will say it this way. I have challenged and put that on the roadmap and the backlog with the engineering team, and I continue to beat that drum. So, and
So
it
you're going to
will at
chaperone us
some point
through.
be on. Yeah, like we'll have to do it, is what I'm saying. So, but we did just launch, and if you're in software, when you
Yeah.
launch with not an MVP, it's a full product, but you bring with it a mile backlog. So
Oh,
well, hey, so your son wants to be a game developer. Have him reach out. So, and in all seriousness, we love for kids to play our games and beta test. And don't worry, it's not creepy, but we do record it so we can watch their expression, watch how they play it, watch
right.
their mechanics, and it's a good way for whoever put that your son to meet potentially a game developer. In fact, in a couple of weeks, we're coming out with a sponsor content similar to what Angel Studios did. And I'm actually writing the benefits. So if you actually sponsor, then you can have your name in the credits of a game, or like you can even get on and meet a game developer and some stuff. So depending on if you sponsor. So anyway,
I don't know who
but
said
no, yeah.
because the way StreamYard works, you have to sign in when you say that. So I don't know exactly who said that, but I want to go see if it's over here in the group because Some comments maybe on Facebook, some maybe on YouTube. I have no idea. Oh, it's Amanda.
Oh,
Amanda,
this person's in
my son
college. Your
does too.
son's in college. Okay, I was thinking
Mine
your
too.
son.
Yeah,
If your
yeah,
son's in college, he should hit us up. Trish, just connect us, and I mean,
yep.
we do. I hired one of our interns. We had an intern. He's phenomenal, and when he graduated, I gave him a full-time job in marketing.
I
So
have a son that wants it too. Literally, I have three in college, and one wants to be a gamer. And he is a gamer. Oh my gosh, y'all. So I have to tell the story. I think I told you the story, Matt, but I won't go here too long. But when my kids were little, the only thing that I would let them play was a game called Minecraft. And I know most people know Minecraft. And there is a homeschool group that has a homeschool server, and that's where we played. And we did Spelling Village. So what I would do was we had a village set up, and I would give them their spelling words. And we're all sitting in the same room, but I would go in as my character and go read their words that they had to put in their house. And so anyway, we've been gaming for a very, very, very long time. And that was the highlight of their day, was playing Minecraft and doing our spelling words. And so yeah, we've been gamers for a long time. So I get it. And so Amanda, I'll hook you up, girl. She said he graduated from homeschool. So there you go.
cool.
Okay. So anything that we didn't cover that you wanted to talk about that wasn't there?
Um, I mean, I think we wanted to look at the platform a little bit.
Do you have time? Can you share it with us?
Sure. I mean, I think my wife and kids might jump through this door over here. So if you don't
Okay.
mind seeing them walk in the door, I have time.
We can't
So,
even see the door. Barely. We can see one little sliver of your door, so you're good.
oh, it'll be like this loud explosion of humanity that walks in my house as soon as they come home.
Where you
Let me try and share. I originally tried to log in from my phone so you could see the platform, but let me try and present slides. Oh, share screen. As easy as two monitors. I don't have two monitors right now, so hopefully you don't see any trade secrets. Okay. All right. So I know this is not the best way to show off the platform. It's a little embarrassing, I guess, but this is this is an iPad version that we just superimposed on this background. But essentially, this is Maple in the Forest of Words. It's a platformer game. Maple goes to the forest to, that's where she figures out there's evil in the world. This one's really cool. If you've ever played Wordscapes, this is a called Lumi's Words of Light. And you basically put words together, and when you beat the level, it shares a Bible verse and some encouragement.
That sounds like spelling to me.
So this one that you just saw. I'll kind of go back to it for a hot second here. So this one's the battle for Eldavar coming up. And oh no, that's not what I meant. This one here. Can't see it super well on the screen. Sorry, it's a terrible demo. But basically, that is like the end of Arc 1, where they realize that there's this ancient Eldavarian castle in the Forest of Words. This game is that one you just saw of the fox flying. That's Oliver and the vindictive vines. And so the vines are chasing, pause it right here because I don't want to get too far ahead. The vines are chasing Oliver into the Forest of Words. And these vines are basically Azilla's minions that do her bidding. And Azilla's she's the evil queen of the Forest of Words who's stolen the Book of Words. So he gets chased into the Forest of Words by the vines. Maple comes in on a rescue mission to save Oliver, and that's how they become best friends. This one's really cool. This is actually the Action Bible. A lot of kids actually think that is the Bible, but we have an agreement where we licensed the Action Bible, and we created, we took their comics and turned it into a digital comic. And our digital comics are one of my favorite pieces of content because my kids love Adventures in Odyssey and also Jonathan Park. Highly recommend both of those. And they love audio drama. And so in the digital comics, you can just hit play and it will just read through, and we have such great narration and good FX teams. It's so good. So we have our Rimverse digital comics and the Action Bible. This one is the Match 3 stained glass. This one, that's where you.
That's the one that's almost that adults will like, right?
Yes, yes. This is actually an animated short where we did a 3-minute proof of concept of Maple and Oliver in the Forest of Words. So you can see that, we have all these games, and then essentially we come out with new content every month. So once you get in there, it's not like, that's it. No, we come out with new levels, and
good.
we come out with brand new games. And so this one's fun. It was an original. It's really hard, actually.
I love it when you say that.
Yeah. So let's see. I mean, I could keep going on and on, but I would recommend.
Is amazing. That one thing that I took away from that was they do not look like an amateurish games.
No. These people. We have this animator. Actually, there's a video of our animator on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
His name's Angel, and it is it's an incredible story. I met this guy when I first came, and he was searching. And so sometimes we get asked, like, do you have to be a Christian to join a Christian, TruPlay? And it's like, well, I always say this, even in interview, like, well, you do need to be fully aligned with the mission, and you'd probably be uncomfortable if you weren't a Christian.
Right.
But we look for skills, and so Angel was open. He was searching. He was. God was getting hold of this guy. I'll just put it bluntly.
Chasing him, huh?
Chasing him down. And this guy, I watched him get baptized in a parking lot.
Aww.
And we did a whole video of this guy's story because I was like, Angel, we're going to spend some marketing dollars. I have no idea who's going to watch this, but your story needs to be told. And so we put it out there. It's a really beautiful story. But
is it the one that it says a story about God's hand changing someone's life?
Yes.
Is that it? Okay, yes. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to grab it, but it's probably going to play. So I'm going to have to close it real quick. Okay, got it. I'm posting it. It'll be in the links.
So it's pretty incredible just working at TruPlay. It's not just about the games. And we do have he's a highly talented animator. So like watching him take something and animate it. And we have amazing artists. There's a whole section of our office that I love to walk by and just sit and watch because these guys are building worlds.
Oh, yeah.
But it's really neat to see what God's doing at the company. I've watched at this point 3 people get baptized at our on-sites. And it's just to watch what's happening inside the company, to see how people treat people. That's actually been something that, the outside world probably won't see. But we experience it. And, I talk about this, when I speak to the company, I'm like, hey, if we're not living out the mission internally, there's no way people are going to see this in our games. So anyway.
I agree. Somebody said, it's so cool that you're a homeschool family too, Matt. So I figured they would like that he's got 4 girls.
We didn't plan it. Yeah, we didn't plan it from the beginning, but holy moly, we love it. We love it.
Isn't that amazing? When you said your daughter was designing costumes, I mean, that literally sounds exactly like something that you would hear from a homeschool family, where you're allowing your children to chase their interests and be interested in things that are different. Costume design is a fascinating. If you go back and look at the history of costumes and the history of just formal wear. I mean, it's a very interesting study. I've seen one of those. So having boys, we didn't get quite into dress, and all of that. That wasn't a thing for them. But I have seen a couple of unit studies out there on it. So it's an interesting study. So I'm fascinated that she is doing costume design. And Gidget,
she is.
Absolutely, yep.
She's doing it for a play, though. Her and her homeschool friends are doing an entire play, and they're building all their own costumes. So
that's fantastic.
It's great. I love it.
Well, thank you so much for your time this afternoon, Matt. I know this was late for y'all, and I appreciate you coming in after hours and spending some time with us. I will, if anybody has any questions, because I know if you're not here watching live and you pop the questions in there, I will absolutely reach out to Matt and get answers for all of the questions that y'all have. So, but we do appreciate you hanging out with us this late in the evening and telling us about TruPlay. And as just on cue, we have people coming in, right?
as uh, as the family comes in, which is great. I'll
Perfect.
leave you with this. Yeah, I know that as a parent, we really usually take one of two roads. We either just kind of say, no, we're not going to do this because it's scary, or it's like, oh, we just give up and let kids do whatever they want. I can assume no one on this call takes the latter, but
Right.
that's really our heart, is to take back some space that we feel was taken from parents because we're parents. So we're building as fast as we can. We're doing everything we can to get it out there. So we hope you jump on board the train with us. And Trish, thank you so much for letting me take up some time with your homeschool families, and one homeschool family to another. Keep going, doing the right thing.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Matt, for the encouragement too. And guys, I will get back with you soon. And if you have any questions, please post them and I'll get back with Matt. So y'all have a great evening and we will see you next week. Thanks.
Good
Bye.
night.